All right, I'm back with Donnie Gilbert here. Donnie, good morning. Let's get back into it.
Yeah, we were talking about wait times. I have wait times here on a US map here. Darker the blues, lower the wait times. Lighter shades up to the white, the highest shade, the highest amount of wait times. Very important, very costly for carriers. It can really burn up a driver's hours when they're sitting at docks instead of actually driving on the road. It can upset drivers, cause driver turnover if not getting paid, because drivers are paid by the mile of the truck going forward. So we threw it out here, and you kind of see right now the more rural areas are the darker blues, the lighter shades. Some of your larger markets, Atlanta, Dallas, LA, or Ontario, are kind of on the lighter shade, so their wait times are a little bit higher. I like throwing this into a heat map, which is my next chart, and I've kind of gone in and I've broken this up. On the left-hand side here, I've got my lowest markets. I've sorted it by the lowest number, which is the lowest wait times. And then here on my right-hand side, I've sorted it and scrolled down to what are the highest numbers. So we get in here and we see what these rural markets are. We see Fargo, North Dakota, Grand Junction, Colorado, San Diego, Rapid City. A lot of these are smaller markets. Erie, PA, though, that's a pretty big market there in the Northeast. Billings, Montana, Minnesota. But I'm going to kind of get on down here, and I'm pretty proud of this one right here. Savannah, Georgia. That's a pretty large market. It's also an import market. So we know those have been very busy, but yet they've kept their average wait time down to 107 minutes. So basically a little bit more than an hour and a half. Now, the Georgia Port Authority came in here a few years ago and gave us a really big presentation. And they have worked really, really hard on keeping wait times down in the actual Savannah port. So of course, this is the average of everything in Savannah, but you also have the port. So here, maybe 10, 12 years ago, I wouldn't even have sent a truck to Savannah. I'd never liked the Savannah market, but after seeing what they've tried to do, the amount of money they've invested into the Savannah market and getting those wait times down, Savannah has become a market that should be targeted by carriers now as well. It's a tighter market. Normally rates are a little bit higher because of having a port itself that's backed up. So keeping on that Savannah market, wait time is 107. Jump over here to the right side here. I'm looking at the highest times. Raleigh, North Carolina, almost a 3 hours average wait period. And that's average. So you have some that are a lot above, some that are doing very well. Oklahoma City, you see a lot of our bigger markets in here. Shreveport, Terre Haute, Cincinnati, Atlanta, Jacksonville. So these are areas, Ontario, Denver, New Orleans. These guys right here, Columbus, Ohio, they need to work. They have some work to do. They need to get in there and get those wait times down. But also, like I say, with these larger areas, larger metropolitan areas that are a lot busier, we're having labor shortage issues as well, still with COVID-19 going on. So that's also going to be affecting this somewhat as well. But if you're rolling into these markets, expect nearly a 2.5 hour to 3 hour wait time for your truck. And that can be very tough. Again, here you have a 14-hour clock. You can use, I believe, about 4 hours of that for off duty. But when you start getting into wait times that are this long, 3 hours unloading, 3 hours loading, 6 hours not driving, you're going to start eating into the hours that you're able to drive. And that's going to hurt these drivers.
Donnie, so that dock door is a two-way street. There's certainly things that shippers can do to make their process more efficient, make it easier for drivers. But what is your advice to drivers and to carriers? What can they do to try to minimize the time sitting in detention?
Be patient. It's tough, and you get frustrated. There are some shippers, and as we develop more technology and start really narrowing down who these shippers are, there's a lot of shippers that that act like they don't care, or maybe the shipper cares, but the people that are actually controlling it, the security guards, the dock workers, don't care, and they're really making these drivers sit. And the guy who complains and gets mad probably gets kicked to the back of the line maybe a little bit. So be patient, work with them. Get in there, get checked in, make sure you're checked in, and stay alert. Don't go to sleep in your sleeper, and work with them, and they'll get you in and out as quick as possible. And that is about the only thing that you can do. Again, keep your timesheets signed in, signed out, so you can try to charge back for detention. But again, it's very difficult to go in and collect detention.
Got it.
So I'm going to look at one more of my favorite maps, Andrew, before I let you go here. And this is kind of maybe a tip of the week here. So we go over outbound tender rejection rates, drive-in outbound tender rejection, reefer outbound tender rejection rates. And we talk about those a lot. But in our daily watch that we ride every day, we'll actually break those down and go a little bit further in and go down to a lane level. And so I've broken it out here to outbound. This is drive-in outbound tender rejection rates, and this is at a lane level, and I've actually sorted by the highest lanes. So in Sonar, you can go in and build a heat map and see every lane that we have available in a heat map. And so I just kind of want to show this to everybody. If you would like a copy of this into your My Pages, you can get in touch with your customer success manager and we can send that to you. But this is a good one, to look at here. Shreveport to New Orleans is the highest dry van lane rejection rate. 51.77% of that freight is being rejected. Augusta to Bristol, we've seen those a little bit tight here, probably some more water movements coming down out of the Northeast. It's at a 50.6%. And you can kind of see and scroll through and see what's close to your lanes. And these are some shorter lanes: Nashville to Decatur, Knoxville to Birmingham, Texarkana to Memphis, Augusta to Boston. But these are some good lanes, and you can kind of scroll through and see not only how high the rejection rates are in a market, but on certain lanes. And it could be important seeing what's coming out of Harrisburg and going into the Midwest, and see some of those lanes and see how it differentiates between those lanes and the actual rejection rate that's in the market.
Yeah, we'll jump back into this in our final carrier update of the day. But one thing to note that I think we should bring back up is that you see a lot of the same destinations here. You see 2 New Orleans, you see 2 Oklahoma City, 2 Memphis, 2 Decatur. A lot of the same markets people don't want to go to, no matter what the origin is. So we'll jump back into that here in a moment. Thanks, Donnie.